Maria worked the night shift at a luxury office tower, scrubbing marble floors while the world slept. She had nothing but debt, a broken family, and dreams she barely dared to speak aloud. Every night she walked past the same alley behind the building, until one day she noticed someone lying there. A man half covered in rags, his eyes closed but chest rising slowly. She paused, unsure. Something about him seemed out of place, not in the usual disheveled way, but in how he carried stillness like a king without a crown. The next night she brought him bread and water. "Eat," she whispered, leaving it beside him. He opened his eyes slowly, locking them with hers. "Why?" he asked. "Because you look like you've forgotten how to ask," she replied. From that night on, Maria brought him something small: food, old gloves, warm tea. He never begged, never complained. He told her his name was Nate. What she didn't know, the man with the shaggy beard and torn coat used to rule boardrooms from the top floor she now cleaned. Their short nightly conversations turned into full-hour talks. Nate listened more than he spoke, and Maria felt seen for the first time in years. She told him about her sick mother, her 2 cleaning jobs, and the people who looked through her like she was invisible. Nate never pitied her. He admired her strength. One rainy night, he offered her his coat when she shivered. "But you need it more," she protested. "I've had worse," he replied. His voice was deeper than expected, calm and commanding. She didn't know he used to give million-dollar speeches in that same tone, to people in suits who feared and followed him. Nate, meanwhile, was falling. Not just for her kindness but for the way she laughed even when life kicked her down. He hadn't felt human in years, until Maria. But he couldn't bring himself to reveal who he really was. Not yet. Maria began noticing odd things. Nate quoted poetry perfectly, referenced books she hadn't read, and once fixed her broken watch with surprising skill. "You don't talk like a man who's lived on the street," she teased one night. He shrugged. "I've lived many lives." The mystery intrigued her. Was he a runaway? An actor who lost everything? She didn't push. She liked the version of him that sat beside her, warm and present. But the questions kept spinning in her mind. Nate knew he was running out of time. His name was still known, even though he'd vanished from the business world months ago. Soon, someone would recognize him and Maria would learn everything. And then, would she still want him? One night, 2 security guards chased a group of teens through the alley. Maria and Nate were nearly spotted together. She laughed as they ducked behind dumpsters. "This feels like a movie," she said, eyes shining. Nate didn't laugh. He was too focused on her happiness. Later that night, Maria held his hand without thinking. It was rough, scarred but steady. He looked down at her hand in his and said softly, "You make me forget who I used to be." Maria didn't know what that meant, but her heart skipped. She was falling for him. And deep inside she feared she was falling too hard, too fast. Under a moonlit sky, surrounded by the hum of the city, they kissed. It wasn't rushed or desperate, it was real. Maria felt her walls crumble. Nate pulled her close, his hands trembling slightly. "I haven't felt this alive in a long time," he said. She smiled, unaware of the truth behind his words. Nate was living a lie. Every day he remained hidden, the pressure built. His assistants were searching for him. His boardroom was falling apart. And here he was, kissing a cleaner in a back alley like none of that mattered. But for Nate, she was all that mattered now. After a rushed goodbye one morning, Nate dropped something. Maria picked it up, his wallet. Curious, she opened it, expecting maybe a bus pass. Instead, she found a sleek black card with an elite banking logo. No homeless man carried that. She felt cold. Confused. Who was he? That night, she confronted him. "What's this?" He froze. "Maria, I can explain." But she wasn't ready to hear it. She turned and walked away, heart pounding, tears rising. Nate stood there, silent. The life he escaped had just caught up to him. Days passed. No calls. No visits. Maria tried to forget him but failed. One afternoon, cleaning a glass office, she looked up and saw him. Not in rags. In a suit. Haircut. Clean-shaven. Smiling on a magazine cover, "Nathaniel Grayson returns, CEO reclaims throne." Her knees buckled. It was him. Nate was Nathaniel. A billionaire. A liar. That night he came looking for her. Found her outside her building. "I wanted to tell you. I didn't know how." She slapped him. "You let me fall for a fantasy." "No," he whispered. "You fell for the only real part of me." Maria blocked him, avoided the alley, ignored the headlines. Nathaniel tried everything, calls, letters, even flowers at her work. She rejected them all. What they had felt sacred, now it felt staged. He respected her space, but the distance hurt. Not because of his ego, but because she was the first person who'd seen the man behind the name. And now she hated him. Meanwhile, Maria fought herself daily. She missed him, but her pride wouldn't let her forgive him. Love wasn't supposed to be built on lies. A former rival leaked a fake story. Maria was a gold digger who seduced Nathaniel while he was undercover. Paparazzi swarmed her apartment. She lost one of her cleaning jobs. Her name was smeared. Nathaniel was furious. He held a press conference. No suit. No script. Just truth. She didn't know who I was. She loved me when I had nothing. She's not the liar, I am. Maria watched it all on TV, stunned. Nathaniel stood in front of dozens of cameras, but his words weren't for the press, they were for her. Maria, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I was hiding from my world, but I found you instead. And losing you hurts more than anything I've built. Maria broke down. She hadn't expected that kind of public humility. Not from a man used to controlling everything. But could she forgive him? Her heart said yes. Her fear said no. That night, he waited outside her building in the rain. No car, no security, no umbrella. Just him. She walked up slowly. Are you going to catch a cold for every apology you owe me? She asked. He smiled through soaked hair. If that's what it takes. They talked for hours. No accusations, just raw honesty. Nathaniel told her everything. Why he walked away, how alone he felt in his empire, how meeting her gave him hope. Maria didn't forgive him right away, but she listened. They agreed to start over. No lies. No power games. Just them. He insisted on no luxury, no gifts, no cars, no penthouse dinners. I want to earn you, he said. Not buy you. And for the first time, Maria let her guard down fully. Not because of his money, but because of his effort. She saw the man again, not the mask. Someone didn't like their reunion. One night, Maria's apartment caught fire. It started near the door. Arson. She barely escaped. Nathaniel arrived within minutes, holding her tight as the flames lit the sky. He wanted revenge. She wanted peace. If this is the cost of loving you, she whispered, I don't know if I can keep paying it. His heart broke. But Maria didn't leave. She moved into a small studio temporarily, refusing his offers for anything bigger. If I stay on my own terms. Nathaniel nodded. He admired her even more. Nathaniel's ex-fiancée returned to the picture, suddenly interested again after seeing Maria in the headlines. She invited Maria to lunch under false pretenses, then humiliated her with passive insults and threats. I know what women like you want, the ex sneered. He'll grow bored. He always does. Maria didn't flinch. Maybe. But at least he didn't have to pretend with me. Then she left, proud and unshaken. Nathaniel heard what happened and cut ties completely, making a public statement that stunned social media. Maria is the only future I want. The cleaning company Maria worked for fired her after the drama. Too much press. Too much attention. She was devastated. They think I'm trouble, she said. Nathaniel wanted to give her a position in his company, but she refused. I need to earn my way, remember? He respected that. Instead, she started her own solo service, using saved-up tips. Word spread. Clients loved her. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. For once, Maria was her own boss, and it felt better than any rescue. Nathaniel started planning a proposal, but not a flashy one. He visited their alley, now clean and rebuilt. He set it up just like that first night, same blanket, same cup of tea. When Maria arrived, confused, he knelt. I met you here at my lowest. And I found something richer than any fortune, your heart. Will you marry me? Maria smiled through tears. Only if you promise to never disappear again. He kissed her hand. Never. News exploded again. Homeless love story ends in engagement. The press flooded them. Trolls attacked. Haters called it fake. Maria struggled with the spotlight. Nathaniel shut it all down, canceled interviews, refused press access, and for the first time since his return, truly walked away from the media. I'd rather lose headlines than lose her peace, he said. Maria realized then he had changed. Before the wedding, Maria panicked. What if I'm not enough? What if you regret this life? He pulled her close. I've had yachts, jets, and luxury. None of it made me feel alive. But sweeping floors and sharing tea with you did. Still, the pressure crept in. Not from him, but from within. The difference in their worlds haunted her. But Nathaniel kept grounding her. Every day he reminded her why she was his choice. And slowly the fear faded. They didn't marry in a ballroom. They married on the rooftop of the building Maria once cleaned. Just close friends, dim lights, and the city below. She wore a simple dress. He wore no tie. When they kissed, the wind howled as if blessing them. No press, no drama. Just a love built on something real. Maria looked around and realized she wasn't dreaming anymore. Months later, Maria found out she was pregnant. She cried, part fear, part joy. Nathaniel lifted her off the ground when she told him, "You gave me life. Now you're giving us another." They didn't announce it. They just lived it, quietly, together, building a small life from the pieces of their past. The child would never know the alley, but they'd teach him what love looks like, honest, flawed, and fearless. Years later, there's a bench by that alley. A small plaque reads, "Here love wasn't found, it was earned." Maria and Nathaniel sit there every year on the anniversary of their first meeting. Sometimes with their son, sometimes alone. And every time they laugh at how wild life can be. From a mop to millions, from lies to loyalty, this wasn't just a love story. It was proof that sometimes, the richest hearts are hidden behind the poorest faces.